with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Tues.
Bad man, she love. Bad man, she love. Da-da-da-da-da. What is it?
Shake
Mix
it
it.
max.
Oh, yes. Shake it. Mix it to the shake.
Wow.
Shake it to the max. Shake it to the max.
I love this for the summer anthem.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We are in the building, Saucy and friends in the morning.
In the morning.
We are in the building. Today, we have a great show lined up for you guys. As we promised, we have Mayor Michelle Wu coming in today. We also have two brand new, 1.5 brand new interns. Bishop is in the building, and Maya, aka Big Mac, is in the building today. So you'll be hearing from them little periodically here and there throughout the
Big
day.
Mac. I want a name like Bishop or Big Mac.
Right.
It's just Tony.
Hi, thank you.
They sound like they should be in movies.
Thank you, Finn.
And thank you, Finn. Make sure you guys go on to Finn's Fusion, 1191 Blue Hill Avenue, where you can get a great stuffed bake. Or a breakfast sandwich,
Yes.
or some nice ginger tea.
That is nice. And the ginger beer is delicious.
And the ginger beer. Why you call it ginger beer?
Because it's got some
fermented,
essence
right?
in it.
I'd ferment.
Yes. Yes, that's why.
I feel like
And
I don't
bubbles.
believe either one of you.
I don't know.
A little hops in it.
Hops?
Oh.
No.
No hops. That's real beer. That's real beer. That's just.
I like a hops. They
No
should
flavor.
put some hops in some ginger beer. That'd be good. That
That'd
sounds
be really
naturally inebriated.
You know what's really good about ginger beer? It mixes well with so many different alcohols that you can make really good cocktails that are really refreshing with ginger beer.
My only problem with ginger is it's spicy.
It's very
it's
spicy.
Is ginger a pepper?
No, but it might have a little capsaicin in it, which is the thing that makes peppers
Who is it? Capsaicin?
capsaicin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but capsaicin is also good for you because it speeds up your metabolism and aids in weight loss. So people who eat a lot of spicy foods tend to
like cayenne pepper diet.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Check it to the max.
Fun fact, something that I learned over the weekend.
Tell me everything.
There is a village in Austria. It is called
Tony.
How's it spelled? That same way?
No, it was spelt that same way up until 2021, and they changed it.
Why'd they change it?
They changed it because to them it was nothing, but then people started paying attention to it and making fun of it, so they changed the name
To fudging.
to
fudging.
F-U-G-G-I-N-G.
Yep. It used to be fudging Austria.
Yeah, but it used to be F-U-C-K-I-N-G, and they changed it to
In
F-U-G-G
2021,
in
they
2021.
changed it.
Let's get into why you know that.
So, because I was having a conversation with Jay over the
About
weekend-
sex.
No, we weren't. We were
About
talking
effing.
We were talking about, or like Intercourse, Pennsylvania, because you know there's Intercourse,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
yeah,
So we were talking about that because we were near Pennsylvania.
And more sex talk.
Oh my God. And so anyways, he was like, do you know about the village called this? And I said, no, but there is a whole video about it that somebody produced that is highly hilarious. But it's just, I'm going to have to, we'll share that towards the end of the show if we have time. But I learned that this weekend. Isn't that interesting?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
This sandwich is freaking phenomenal.
Those sandwiches just be hitting. They be hitting.
Wow. Huh?
You should. Because what are you eating? Doritos for breakfast?
Doritos and bananas.
Well, balance.
We did a check yesterday and asked everybody what they ate, and like maybe 2 people ate for the whole day. There's about 10 of us.
Either.
And
Did
the
you?
rest
Did
of us
you eat
ate
breakfast,
nothing.
Maya? No.
Yeah.
Terrible.
You're not
There's
a
a lot-
breakfast person.
There's a lot of people who are not breakfast people.
I may judge you if you're not a breakfast person.
No. So, of all the meals,
Uh-huh.
breakfast is my favorite one
my
to go
favorite.
to. Dinner is the favorite one to eat. If that makes any sense.
Yes, it does.
Like the other day, I was having a moment and I needed some time. So I took myself over to Sweet Life and got me a waffle with strawberries and whipped cream. And I f***ed it up, okay?
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Because I love it. It makes you happy.
Exactly what you said. Like, if I will go out to breakfast, but I'm not going to eat breakfast at home. Like that.
I'm not going to cook it and eat it.
Yeah, like that's not going to happen. But I will make a lunch. Or
Janet!
Janet back in the building. Good morning.
Hi, Janet. I think Tristan was just asking about you yesterday.
Yeah.
And how is Jay Yeah.
Yeah, and the other two children.
And Angie and
Caleb.
Yeah,
Yes.
our people. Anyhow, we've got a really, really great show today. Where we was in the building, we got some news and updates for you about stories that we've been talking to you guys about. We've got our two great interns. It's gonna be hot outside, and I think today is gonna be a good day. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Jesus. Hallelujah.
All right. With that said,
Shake it to the max.
quick check-in. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
What did you do last night?
Nothing. I went and I got my nails done yesterday. I took the boys yesterday to follow suit, the first class for follow suit. And I stayed for about a half an hour. It was really, really nice. Anthony told his story about how he got into follow suit, like got, real with the boys. And I thought that was really nice. We met two boys when we were going in who had done the program before, and they were like, it was amazing. It was awesome. So the boys were looking forward to it, and I think that they enjoyed it. They got a little something out of it. They got measured for their suits yesterday, which I think was probably like something that they're looking forward to. And I think that promise of getting a new suit and the way that they talked about it is probably what keeps the boys really involved in the program. So it was really cool. And then nothing. I hung out at Mummy's for just a little bit, and then we... what do we do? Where do we go?
Everybody, you went to orientation.
Oh, I went to camp orientation. So camp is going to be starting Monday, and I'm excited about that. And I think ADSL has a really, really good program that they have planned for this year. I think it's going to be really, really nice for the kids. They are doing some educational type things. There's, of course, the field trips that they're famous for. Lots of good programs. They have some cooking programs, all kinds of things. So the kids are going to be learning some really, really nice skills over there at ADSL. If you guys don't know about ADSL, it's all Dorchester Sports and Leadership. It's located right there in Town Field on Dorchester Ave. So the little clubhouse that's in the field on right there in Fields Corner. They do have drop-in services still available, so you can't be an official camper now, but you can be dropped in every day, and I think that that's free. So you drop in, they have activities planned for you outside. You don't get to do a lot of the other things, but it is a place that you can take your children if there isn't anything there. ADSL also has lots of sports programs this summer, too. There's basketball, I think there's t-ball, there's a few other things. So if you're interested in getting your kids involved in sports and things like that, please check out ADSL. And Coach Chris told everybody that was there yesterday that they must tune into Spark FM for all updates about what's going on at ADSL. So we got to keep people up to date. So that's what I did yesterday. What about you, Saucy?
Yesterday, I did a long walk. I didn't notice it was so hot yesterday in the afternoon.
It was quite warm yesterday.
Which is crazy. I thought that by like 4 the weather starts going down, but it seems like that's 4 is our prime time heat.
Oh yeah, ramp up.
Which is crazy.
It's like the heat gets heat before it leaves.
Yeah, I did a good walk yesterday, and then my mom was going on a date that I invited myself to with her sister, and I decided to go as well. So we went to Crescent Ridge, and I've enjoyed my ice cream, and Sparkell enjoyed his pup cup.
Oh, very nice. Crescent Ridge is a vibe.
It is.
It's a nice thing to do.
It is.
I like it.
You been by Sweet Sip? Yep.
What's that?
The rolled up ice cream in Fields Corner.
Oh, the rolled up ice cream.
Yeah.
That's what you and Brittany get all the time.
Where is it?
Sweet Sip. It's over there on Koreatown.
No.
Did I say that right?
No, that's Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
It's over there.
One of them. It's over there. With our cousin and them.
It's on the other side. They have the other tea spot right next to it too.
Oh, I do like the little tea spot right under the bridge. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wonder what you mean you don't care for Crescent Ridge. I don't even eat ice cream, and that's the only one I'll eat.
I did go to another farm out somewhere one time with this guy that I used to know.
Oh, wow.
And I forget what the name of it was, but it was out somewhere. It was another farm that had ice cream. It was good. It was nice. I liked it.
I like it too. But with that said, let's get into the show because we got a lot of grounds to cover. So let's get it on and parping.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz. You're listening to Spark FM online.
Call Spark FM at 617-272-3387.
You are now listening to Spark FM.
All right, today is checking account. with your little $4 in there. I see you. I'm about to go spend that. I can't wait to get out of here. I'm gonna
Charge it to
sandwich. Shit. Today is the first day of July. It is July 1st. We are officially over the halfway hump, and we are plentiful into the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
So it goes by very quickly. It goes by very quickly, and it is sad. As we alluded to today, it is currently 78 degrees already at 9:39. And it's going to be a high of 90 degrees today and cloudy. So that means it's going to be a little muggy. Yeah. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 12 p.m. Wind gusts up to 22 miles per hour. So there might be a little breeze. And then tonight, it's going to be dropping down to about 71, which I prefer it to be a little cooler at the nighttime. That's what I prefer.
There's a chance of rain today too, right?
There is a chance of rain, but that's later on into the midnight, 11 p.m. to about 12 a.m.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was going into serious discussion about the weather today because it is, hot as hell. It's hot as hell.
Rather.
So let's get into our stories for today. Again, today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. It's approximately 9:40 a.m. and we are ready to go, Miss Tony.
Let's go. A former Boston police sergeant has been charged with beating a drunk man after the Saucy parade.
What?
Yeah.
Did he beat him or were they fighting?
Well, I know, because we've seen videos of the Saucy parade and how it can get, and how those people get outlandish and very, very
Thugs.
drunk. You remember the video with the two female police officers that was roughing up them children?
Yep.
Good. And they needed it. A former Boston sergeant detective has been indicted over alleged assault back in March. Christopher Cuniff was indicted on June 25th on charges of aggravated assault and battery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, according to prosecutors. The charges stem from an incident that happened the day of the St. Patrick's Day parade when Cuniff allegedly beat a drunk man and left him hurt in a Southie driveway at around 11 p.m., prosecutors said. Cuniff, who worked in Boston Police Domestic Violence Unit, retired the same week.
Wow, that's terrible.
He retired the same week. After he became aware of an investigation into him by the DA's office and the BPD Anti-Corruption Division. A spokesperson for the Suffolk County DA said the incident happened while the 59-year-old was off duty, prosecutors added. Cuniff is scheduled to have an arraignment on July 10th, and more information is expected to be released in court. So if he was off duty and got into a fight with a drunk man at the St. Patrick's Day parade.
He was just a civilian.
Right, he was just
accused of raping a teenage boy.
No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one.
Jesus Christ. He's
save
terrible.
That one. No, but save that. We need that for the next.
Okay.
I don't think there is one for that one, but
yeah, there is.
He don't got it. But yeah, I feel like, off duty, you still presume the responsibility of being a cop in general, I believe.
Yeah.
You do get a little bit of leeway because you're not actively on duty. But do off-duty cops carry weapons too? They do?
Oh, they do.
They do?
Oh, why?
Maybe their personal weapon.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
You in trouble now.
You in a hot seat.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
But yeah, I thought I if there's personal handheld, yeah, then you can wear it as long as you have an LTC.
Nah, I believe in class, back in high school and in college, it was told that cops can carry a gun just in case if a probable crime or if a crime around them is happening. So they could be off duty, they could just take a stroll on their off day. But if they see a crime happening, they could
like a mandated reporter, they are
Like a citizen's arrest.
Yes, a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, something like
I make
that,
citizen's
yeah.
arrests all the time.
Okay.
I'm gonna start making more of them.
Yes, off-duty police officers are generally allowed to carry firearms, but it's often subject to certain conditions and regulations.
And it's not their police issued gun. It would have to be a personal one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if they're off duty and they shoot somebody with their police issued gun?
If it was a crime in happening, perhaps they would be like Superman, where they automatically, switch roles and become a super cop.
Yeah.
You must be American because you're never serious.
I mean, it's like, do you expect a cop to not carry his badge on his off day?
I would assume
I like
that
when
they would.
when you know, like when they go in and they be like, no, you messed up. Gun and badge on the desk.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do like that too. Yeah, and
I
then
don't
you
know
have
what
to
that
think
has to
about
do
it while
with
you
what
put
we're
it down
talking about.
slowly.
Yeah, like really?
Yeah,
Like
and
that.
then the camera pans away.
Yes, that's the kind I like. But anyhow, this next story, Boston police sergeant arraigned on disturbing charges involving a minor.
So what the hell?
A longtime member of the Boston Police Department is facing serious charges involving the alleged sexual abuse of a minor. According to the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, 58-year-old Paul Downey of West Roxbury was arraigned Monday afternoon in Boston Municipal Court.
Gotta find that one again. I had it, but I don't know.
Oh, Downey, a sergeant who's been with BPD since 1991, was charged with 4 counts of aggravated rape of a minor, 2 counts of sexual conduct with a child under 18, and 2 counts of electronic enticement of a child for sexual activity. During the brief court appearance, Downey stood facing away from the room, and no details on the case were read aloud because a defense attorney was absent. A not guilty plea was entered on his behalf, and he's currently being held without bail until a follow-up hearing is scheduled for today.
What is it? What is wrong with you when you are a cop and you do very terrible things? Like, do you not feel badly about this?
Raping a teenage boy multiple times.
Sergeant Paul Downey has been on the force for nearly 35 years. NBC 10's John Maroney joins us live from Dorchester District Court with details on the allegations against the sergeant. John?
Colton, that sergeant is in big trouble with the law tonight after getting accused of raping a 14-year-old boy.
I'm going to hear from the Commonwealth and find out what the situation is.
Paul Downey in court hiding his face from cameras. A member of the Boston PD for more than 3 decades, the 58-year-old sergeant is accused of paying a 14-year-old boy for sex.
Commonwealth is moving for arraignment. The clerk is going to read you the charges.
The charges include 4 counts of aggravated rape of a child, 2 counts of engaging in sexual conduct with a child under 18 for a fee, and 2 counts of enticing a child under the age of 18 to engage in commercial sexual activity.
Do you have an attorney?
The Suffolk County DA says Downey met the youngster on the dating app Grindr and
Grindr.
later communicated with him on Snapchat. Investigators say the suspect and the victim were together in March and May. They say the 14-year-old performed oral sex on Downey or was raped by the officer, who allegedly paid the teen between $30 and $80.
Oh, $30 and $80.
An attorney to appoint to you, sir.
The DA says the sergeant was tracked through his Snapchat and his car was located in a police parking lot. The police commissioner said in a statement, these charges are obviously very troubling and our thoughts are with any of the alleged victims, adding that he trusts the investigation and Sergeant Downey is now on administrative leave.
This is wicked work right here.
Now, the defendant did not have an attorney and there was not one available for him at court, so his arraignment was continued until tomorrow morning. Well, I'm in Dorchester, John Maroney, NBC 10 Bob.
That's awful.
That's terrible.
A 14-year-old. That's what Malika said. How did the 14-year-old get on Grindr? I mean,
I thought they had checks and balances over there that you got to put in. Maybe 14-year-olds sometimes be very, very sneaky. But I don't understand. The 14-year-olds on Grindr looking for what?
grinds.
Looking for grinds. And this old man found it, and y'all decided that that's what. This problem.
This old police
as
officer.
Parents, you've got to have a little bit more. Either they could do whatever they want in the house, and you drive them wherever they need to go, or whatever. Because I don't know how a 14-year-old would even be in that position to be in that position to even do that. You know, to even receive that type of treatment. Because what's going on here?
Pastor Troy said, what is Grindr? Grindr is a website for homosexual...
For gay men.
males, right?
Oh, I think it's both. For homosexuals.
Did you say homosexual?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the scientific name.
Oh, because I don't know. You know,
You can't abbreviate and just say HOMO.
Oh.
You got to say homosexual.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
but it's for gay men, though, right? It's only men?
Grindr. Let's see what it is for. Grindr is the world's largest social network app for gay, bi, trans, and queer people.
Oh, people.
Different people.
So it's for the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
LGBTQIA2+S.
Wow.
It's an S?
Yeah.
I thought it was
There's an S.
etc.
I thought it was 2 plus PK.
Huh?
It's a lot of the alphabet.
Yes.
It's a lot of letters
Yo,
in the alphabet.
Etc.
I went to a
Etc.
college where
etc.
this
is
was
appropriate.
prominently known, but I never heard all these extra terms.
I just feel like they should just stop at LGBT.
Because right now it's literally every letter of the alphabet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they. Oh no, they do have an A.
Oh, and F's. Yeah, Janet said that there's F's too.
What is an F, Janet?
The furries.
What's a furry?
Whoa. The ones
That's added?
the people who identify
I thought that was
as animals.
I thought that was an interest.
So I think that's what the plus
Okay, I
involves
got
all
it.
of that.
I got it. Okay, I got
cool.
it.
Tell what
I
it
got
is.
it.
I think we do this
Hold
every
on.
day.
Shout
Hold
out to
on,
the
hold on.
shout out to the F's.
Hold on, I got it.
Yeah.
LGBTQIAPN plus. All right, hold on now.
Where's the two?
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, pansexual, and other gender sexual minorities.
The two isn't in there though, and that is missing something because we need the
this
two for
other
the two
one.
spirits.
This
right?
other one is LGBTQIP2SAA.
Wow, yo, y'all teaching me something new.
I'm not.
No,
What we're not gonna do is this. So move right on because I'm unable to can.
Oh man.
Fresh Jim said so. It's basically sex.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sex.
It's just sex.
Have sex with whoever you want to, because I
As long
honestly
as they're
don't
of
care.
age and consenting.
Exactly.
Do what
say
you gotta do. Trash and recycling workers go on strike in 20 Massachusetts towns. But Janet mentioned that there's a DA strike going on, or a public defender strike or something like that. I didn't know about that. There's something going on. So if your rubbish is piling up on the 4th of July, remember who's responsible for it? The white-collar criminals who run Republic Services, said Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien in a statement. So hundreds of sanitation workers went on strike on early Tuesday in the Boston area. Their union announced an action that was set to affect waste collection in 20 communities. Teamsters Local 25 said 450 workers who are represented by the union started a strike just after midnight, which will affect hundreds of thousands of people in the area and ongoing contract negotiations with their employer, Republic Services. Well, it wasn't my trash man because they picked up our trash this morning. Shoot. Was it your trash man?
Mine's come on a Wednesday.
Oh, okay. The union said its members are demanding better wages, benefits, and labor protections in their contract, but the national company won't budge. NBC 10 has reached out to the Republic Services for comments. Workers were expected to rally in Peabody early Tuesday. The union noted that other local union groups representing Republic workers across the country could call similar strikes as well. If your rubbish is piling up, as I said, it's run by Republic Services. Republic Teamsters didn't start this fight, but we will finish it.
Yes,
our
we
members will do whatever it takes to finally get the respect they're owed.
Let's get right to NBC 10's Alicia Palumbo, who's been live in Revere all morning. Alicia, it's been active there all morning long.
That's right, Raul. It's been hectic here this morning in Revere. You can see those striking workers kind of standing down over here behind me because they successfully got one of those trash trucks that was trying to leave to just back up and at least for the time being give up. But we do have a whole line of trash trucks that are here trying to leave a second exit. They also have not moved in the time that we've been here. And you've got another group of striking workers there on the far end trying to block that gate so they cannot leave there. So why are these workers on strike? Well, Republic Services and the Teamsters are in contract negotiations. The union is pushing for better wages and benefits as well as stronger labor protections. Republic says it provides its roughly 450 Greater Boston employees with competitive wages, industry-leading health care plan, pension plan, and generous time off and holiday plan. Republic said it did enter into these negotiations intending to raise wages, so it's unclear at this point how these negotiations may have fallen apart or how big of a gap there is between what's being offered and what the union's hoping for. In the meantime, hundreds of thousands of residential and business customers in 20 communities are caught in the middle We're told hundreds of additional Teamsters unions across the country are having similar contract disputes with Republic, and they could launch strikes of their own at any moment. Now, the Teamsters are putting the blame squarely on Republic, saying if your rubbish is piling up on the 4th of July, remember who's responsible for it. The white-collar criminals who run Republic Services. Republic Teamsters didn't start this fight, but we will finish it. Republic Services called the strike disappointing, saying to its customers, we planned for the possibility of work stoppage and have taken several steps to continue providing service, including securing Republic Services employees from other areas, prioritizing routes, and optimizing route efficiency. Now, Republic says your trash and recycling pickup may be delayed, and I would say at least in this area it definitely would be, because even the replacement workers are not able to get out of this lot. So again, this strike is ongoing in Revere and several other communities here in the Commonwealth where trash and recycling may not be picked up today. We're live in Revere. Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.
You know what's horrible about that is it's going to be hot today, and that trash is going to be out there baking and stinking.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful.
I mean, this is effective protesting, though. You know, none of that silent bull crap.
Yeah.
You go out there, you stop the trucks from doing what they got to do. You don't want to give me money, the whole city will stay.
Yeah. And you know who to blame it on.
Republic.
The Republic.
The Republicans.
Republicans. This is a terrible story. Boston police are looking to identify suspects in alleged assault of a wheelchair-bound man at an MBTA station.
You gotta be a pure piece of crap.
And it's 4 of them looking like Duck Dynasty or something. I don't know. Boston police are looking to identify several suspects who allegedly assaulted a wheelchair-bound man at the MBTA station earlier this month. On June 7th, around 8:30 p.m., several suspects began harassing a man in a wheelchair at Chinatown MBTA station, according to the MBTA Transit Police. The suspects allegedly kicked the man, causing him to tumble down the stairs. Anyone with information
in his wheelchair?
In his wheelchair is asked to contact the transit police, and they have pictures of them right there.
White boys and a
like
white
Duck
girl.
Dynasty, right?
They all do.
Them. They all
I hope they
terrible.
find
This
those
one with his
thugs.
Floby haircut. These hooligans.
These thugs, these domestic terrorists.
No, I was about to say he looks like Mandar from Dexter.
Oh God, is that a serial killer? Boston police seized firearms and drugs in Dorchester bus, and 2 suspects are arrested. I just like to include these stories so we can see the things that they had. Look, they've had cracks, jums, some $20, and 2 little guns. What is that little pistol called? That is so cute.
That's called a pistola.
A pistola? I was about to call it a pea shooter.
A pea shooter.
Yo, I haven't seen one of those things back in the saloon days.
Oh, but say, what you seeing them for, Bishop? Anyhow, over the weekend, Boston police made significant arrests in Dorchester, confiscating 2 firearms and large amounts of narcotics in a coordinated drug operation. According to the Boston police, officers arrested Rashawn Lashley, 39, and Bianca Lee Cruz, 43, both residents of Dorchester, following the execution of a search warrant on 16 Old Road.
For selling crack.
Surveillance set up at the drug control units of District C6, B2, and the citywide DCU observed the target of an investigation leaving a building Saturday morning. Lashley was subsequently stopped and informed about the search warrant. A subsequent raid on the apartment ensued, where officers apprehended Cruz on 2 outstanding warrants. She's expected to face various charges.
Is that frozen? That's gotta be
Oh, no,
frozen.
is it frozen?
It's frozen. Yeah.
The official statement detailed the seizure of a Colt MK with 6
Colt
rounds.
45.
A Cobra CB special with 2 rounds, approximately 45 grams of crack, and 2 grams of fentanyl. Additionally, about $926 in cash, digital scales, and drug packing material were found. The importance of such busts can't be understated, as they demonstrate ongoing efforts to curb drug trafficking and gun violence within the community.
That's crazy.
Very nice.
Crack is just around, huh? Crack is back.
Crack is
It
back.
ain't never left.
Oh, yeah.
It
just went to the
went down a little bit. It wasn't so popular.
Diluted. Yes. Really?
That's what Mass Ave is.
Crack.
Yeah.
Crack. I thought Mass Ave was fentanyl.
And
But
opioids.
they put the fentanyl in the gun.
Crack is a carrier drug. I don't know.
Everything's a carrier drug for fentanyl.
Oh, right.
that?
They put fentanyl in weed too.
But,
No, they don't do that. I don't do that.
No.
You can though. You can.
I'm not gonna
put
lie,
some in-
Trish.
But
Yeah.
that was I had to research that because I almost had to stop smoking weed because y'all was
I know, because I remember that time you was rolling up and putting stuff, and I was like, oh my God. Fentanyl in all.
Hey, yo.
never.
Probably maybe, but that's a little wild.
No, but people do that. Fentanyl, yeah. Everything, like Bishop said, everything is a carrier drug for fentanyl.
And Trank.
And
Fresh Chance said he was.
Oh, you never heard of Trank? That's also on methadone mount.
Trank,
Trank.
like a tranquilizer.
Yeah, horse tranquilizer.
Isn't
They will
that,
take that.
ketamine.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
They'll take
Tussy.
ketamine. Huh?
Pussy. That's the
cocaine.
pink.
That's the Puff Daddy
pink
drug.
cocaine.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
Terrible. Good. He's so innocent. Nice.
No. Owner of a gas station at Morton Street in Mattapan wants to replace his pumps with 5-story residential.
Go
The
ahead.
Puma
please.
right over
The
here.
Puma. But
Oh, it's not
why?
this one?
They're building residence right
Literally
across
right
the
next to the
street.
door. Yeah, man. Where we supposed to? Let me put that question down for
Who's
the mayor.
living in these places?
Where y'all want us to put more house?
I don't know. Akmal Moawad, owner of a gas station.
Are you having stroke?
Oh, I was about to say,
That's his name. Owner of a gas station at 841 Morton Street at Norfolk Street in Mattapan says he will soon file plans with the BPDA to raise the station for a 5-story, 48-unit residential building. In a letter of intent, Moawad's consultant on the project says the proposal will include 52 parking spaces on the lot, just 300 feet to the Morton Street station on the Fairmount line, and roughly 2,100 square feet of ground floor retail space. He has owned the half-acre lot since 2002, according to the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds records.
So that would be whatchamacalliting the Enterprise and the gas station.
Oh,
then.
does he own the Enterprise as well? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he owns the Enterprise,
Yeah.
but
I
definitely
would
the gas
assume it,
station.
right?
Yeah, because
I
it
would
said he
assume so.
owns the half-acre lot, so I think that would include
He
that.
does.
He can rent
owns
it out
yeah,
to a
he owns
different-
a lot of the property.
Yeah, the property, but I don't know if he owns the actual business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can own property, but not own the businesses on the property.
Okay, I see. And then in good news, MBTA is offering free rides the night of the 4th of July, which is nice because a lot of people don't like to drive down to the fireworks and stuff like that, but it's going to be a mess.
I just say stay
I was
home.
going to say that's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
I just say stay home 4th of July with everything happening.
I know.
Knowing how people already move
It's a Friday.
That's
with
what
the fireworks.
Child, listen, that's what my son was like, oh, I want to go down there to see the fireworks. And I was like, no, son, it's not safe.
No, you go right over there to South Bay and look over the gate. boy.
Exactly. Go in the garage and look over there. And
Come
be
to
careful
my
there,
house
too.
and look out of my window. You can see maybe the edge pieces of it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
It's not
Hey,
safe.
put on a video loop on your
YouTube.
TV, YouTube.
No, seriously, Netflix
chill.
and YouTube and even your own TV has those things that loop. I was watching Cityscapes forever the other day
Oh,
because
wow.
it was a screensaver on my TV. But they got all of that. They got the fireplace, they got fireworks, they got all kinds of things. You don't got to go nowhere. But public transportation in Massachusetts is going to be a lot cheaper on Friday night. The MBTA announced that after 8:30 p.m. on July 4th, fares will be free on the bus, subway, ferry, commuter rail, and the ride.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. With the Boston expecting more than 1 million visitors for the holiday, the MBTA is encouraging everyone to take public transportation and plan ahead. Whether you're attending parties, barbecues, or other celebrations, including Harborfest, Boston Pops, or the fireworks display over the Boston Harbor, leave the driving to us, our good friend MBTA General Manager Philip Ing said.
Yes, Philip.
We got to get him in here.
We
There
do.
will be additional staff members and transit police stationed throughout the transit system to help with safety, directions, boarding, and schedule information. And you can learn more about the July 4th service schedules by clicking on the internet.
Do you guys have plans for 4th of July?
Outside.
No, it is Friday. My mother's having something at the house, but I don't.
What about you guys, you youth?
I believe I'm having a private listening party with my friends for my
Okay.
album.
What's the album called?
What's that mean? We can't come?
No.
Because you saying it for my friends, like
I
we
know
ain't
you
your
said,
friends.
and you
No.
emphasize private real hard.
Yeah, because it's like
Exclusive.
family, because I grew up with them and everything. So
Nice.
like they haven't really got to see me like perform and all that, but they love to stay updated with what I do in the music world. So
Sounds good. Yeah. I like that. What about you, Maya? Maya just knows she outside too.
Yeah, we usually have a barbecue. I don't know what we're gonna do this year, but hopefully it's a barbecue because I love to eat.
My girl. I don't know. Yeah, there's gonna be things happening. So
lots of things happening.
Yeah.
So find something safe to do with yourselves, everybody.
Absolutely.
Find something safe to do.
And there is an extreme heat warning that's going on in Boston through today. I think it ends today though, because I think that it's not gonna be as hot for the rest of the week, right? Yes. Don't forget, people. We've got. Stay tuned to stay with us. We've got tickets to Kess and Jerkfest. So, keep on listening, and we're going to announce when we're going to give those away in a few. We're going to take a quick commercial break, come back, and we're going to have something for you when we come back. What it is, we don't know yet. All right.
Spark FM.
Spark FM. Woo.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Tues.
What is this, Doctor?
This is
the Spark of New England, Spark FM.
Bringing the heat back to the airwaves.
Turn us up.
All right, let's take a look.
Boston's new home for urban Caribbean music. Spark FM. Spark FM. Playing all your favorite hits from reggae. Spark FM.
If you no mess with the way you are gonna see a million. We got to go long just like the Amazon.
Spark FM.
I know that life is not easy. No say we are for winning. Walk with the camera like Jesus.
Soca. Hip hop.
Yeah, we on and we going crazy.
R&B.
You could do damage. You could do damage.
Afrobeats and much more. Spark FM. Spark FM. Advertise your business, brand, or music on Spark FM. Contact us at sparkfmonline.com for more information.
Each and every Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. inside the Avenue, where you bring the drinks and we bring the vibes. My name is Gary Banton alongside my co-host Big Trini, right here in SparkFMOnline.com, the number one place for soca, hip hop, R&B, and more. Each and every Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. It's the Avenue.
Praise the Lord, City of Boston. This is Brother Chris right here on Spark FM.
Come on, sing it.
Bringing you Sunday morning worship each and every Sunday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Let's get our praise on.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Eunice Production, Friends Lifestyle Group presents their 9th annual Togetherness Boat Ride. It's the Animal Print Edition. Happens to be Saturday, July the 19th. Boarding times at 7 p.m. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. There's going to be 2 floors of music. Your Latin DJ, DJ Sergio, DJ Alfredito, DJ Yobi, and your Caribbean DJ, Hugh Major, and Vital Rhythms. Featuring live performances by Your Fugo, Junta Group, and Tempo Rhythm International. Sound system provided by Ross Entertainment. This is all going to be taking place at 70 Rose Wharf. Get your tickets right now at togetherness.eventbrite.com. Regular tickets are $65. Same day tickets are $75. It's a 21 plus event. And do remember there's a drinks inclusive party bus available to and from the dock for only $60. For more information, contact 617-719-3972 or 646-379-4889. It's a 9th annual Togetherness Boat Ride. Get your tickets now. Eunice Production, Friends Lifestyle Group presents their 9th annual Togetherness Boat
Spark FM.
I know you nasty. She be touching on her own body.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Said she wanna take me away. Said she wanna take me away. Said she wanna show me the way.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
Daddy Nolan, let me love and I'm breathe.
Spark FM.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Tues.
Spark FM Online, number one for urban and Caribbean music. We are here in the building again. We're going to get started on our national news as we wait to get started. Let's see what we got going on. A mega bill mystery. New solar and wind tax comes as a surprise to Republican senators. I don't even know what that means. Because I thought they was been supposed to be doing away with the windmills. Huh?
Your boy's talking about we're about to invest into coal.
Into coal?
Donald Trump, coal.
Like coal for your
coal. Yes, coal.
Like lumps of coal.
Lumps of coal.
Huh?
Like, coal.
Oh, coal. Yeah. Tucked inside Republicans' massive domestic policy bill is an excise tax for wind and solar projects, a provision that came as a surprise not just to the renewable energy industry, but also to numerous senators who are crafting the legislation. In a twist, Republican senators insist they don't know how or why that tax was inserted into the bill. They're rushing to pass, so senator is taking credit for no senator is taking credit for or defending it, and at least want it removed. Senator Lindsey Graham, who has been very, very vocal these days, the Budget Committee chairman who released the 940-page bill, said he doesn't know where the provision came from. It's a secret, I guess, Graham told NBC News on Monday evening. I don't know where it came from. Senator Liz Murkowski, Republican of Alaska, was baffled by the provision, saying the excise tax just came about, like it was airdropped into the bill before the vote Saturday to proceed. It wasn't part of any consideration, she said. It's like, surprise, it's Saturday, and we looked at it like, where did this come from? What did they expect?
So what they're saying is that Trump all of a sudden came out with these extra things in this bill that they weren't aware of.
Yeah.
But they were voting. They were voting for this bill. They were on board.
They have all been on board with voting for this bill. The Republicans completely have always just been trying to push this bill through as fast as they possibly can. Now they're finding all these little loopholes and all these little randomness in it. And the bad thing about this is that, like, they're coming out one by one. Like, after the last vote, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple of them were like, oh my God, if I had read it.
Right, because she said she didn't even read it.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing. They've been literally passing these things straight through with no type of comprehensive knowledge about what they're doing.
Right.
So the provision would tax wind and solar projects if a certain share of their components come from China. It is ambiguously worded, and it would empower the Trump administration to iron out the rule. Senator Cynthia Loomis, a Republican from Wyoming, said that she's okay with that when she was asked about the details of the provision, but she too was in the dark about who inserted it. All of them was okay with everything. I'm okay with it. I didn't know it was there, but I didn't read it, but I'm okay. I don't get it.
So that even though they don't know what it was, where it came from, because Lindsey Graham, that's what he said, he don't know where it came from, they're still okay with whatever is going on.
They're okay with it.
And then, Trish, what did you say? We're looking at digging for coal. Yep. What are you thinking? What's happening? So we're really going back to the back in the day, huh? We're gonna be cowboys and stuff soon. Like, what's going on here?
Big coal hands out. What is killing the U.S. coal industry? So I guess it's another tax cut for people who do coal. Maybe we're going to be running a bunch of locomotives and things like that. Who knows? You know, we need a different way to transport people to slavery. Anyhow,
Right. Well, we're gonna need the slaves to build a railroad.
Anyhow, we're gonna take a
I
quick.
call it beautiful, clean
Go
coal. I
ahead.
tell my people never use the word coal unless you put beautiful, clean before it. Right, Doc? So we call it beautiful, clean coal. Beautiful, clean coal.
All right.
Somebody take me out.
Take me first.
I ain't talking to the game. Just take me out.
Take him out.
Take me first. Take me first.
I'm so, and the collective sigh after that was just how America feels. Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Exhausting.
Anyhow, people, we are going to just do a very quick reset so that we can get our interviewee in here. So make sure you guys give it up a share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll be back after a very, very quick pause. Keep it locked. Spark FM.
You are now listening to Spark FM.
Each and every Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. inside the Avenue, where you bring the drinks and we bring the vibes. My name is Gary Banton alongside my co-host Big Trini, right here in SparkFMOnline.com, the number one place for soca, hip hop, R&B, and more. Each and every Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. It's the Avenue.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Looking for a meaningful way to engage with your community and make a difference? Volunteer with the Massachusetts Senior Medicare Patrol Program and help prevent Medicare fraud. Visit masmp.org. This project is supported by a grant from the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
JP Morgan Chase is making a global commitment to break down barriers to drive inclusive economic growth all over the world. We believe there is a pressing need to help more people move up the economic ladder. That is why we are investing in communities and people to create an economy that works for all, because no community should be left behind. Right here in Boston, we're focusing that work in Dorchester, Roxbury, and Mattapan, among other neighborhoods, on improving financial health. These efforts aim to address the key drivers of the racial wealth divide head on. We're here to empower individuals, families, and small businesses by connecting them to the tools that build generational wealth and a long-lasting legacy. Chase is investing in Boston. Chase is investing in you. Visit us at the Mattapan branch at 1617 Blue Hill Avenue, where the team is waiting to help.
Spark FM.
I know you nasty. She be touching on her own body.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Said she wanna take me away. Said she wanna take me away. Said she wanna show me the way.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at SparkFMOnline.com.
Turn us up.
Spark FM.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Spark FM Online, number one for urban and Caribbean music. We are back in the building, and like we said, we have a special guest. Some of you guys might know her. I'm not sure what you guys know out here, but we have Boston Mayor Michelle Wu in the building. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, good. I mean, it's good because it's gonna be a scorcher today.
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm not very excited about that part because it's 90 and that's crazy. So how are you doing?
I'm good. We're now in the summer schedule, so the kids are in their first camp of the summer right now, which gives us a little bit more structure in the life again.
Where's Mira?
I know. We were like, oh, I wonder if Mira's going to be here
today. she would not be doing well in the radio. Yeah, so I don't know. The weather is just like a constant up and down. It'd be one thing if it were how summers used to be, just like this is what it is. It kind of builds up, gets hotter later in the summer. Now it's like a roller coaster. And
it
so
definitely
it's a lot of
is. Yeah.
How has this campaign season been off for you? Like, how are you feeling? We always get into mental health here.
Yes.
So, how's it been? Seems tough.
It's not what I expected before I got pregnant, before this current federal administration got into office.
Yeah.
And, this is my 6th citywide election. So I love running. I love getting to run into people in random places, a grocery store, a restaurant, on the sidewalk, and just hear what they're thinking about the city and what they dream of. This time is different because it's been so many millions of dollars of negative attack ads everywhere. Like the trucks, the ads, the this and that, which is fine. And, none of us gets into politics these days if you don't have a tough skin and you care, you care about, you don't take anything personally. But it's kind of disrespectful in that we're missing out on the chance for the city to have a real conversation about where we're going.
Yeah.
I when we talk about stuff that's going on in the city, we talk about things that you're involved in, I'm always like, how does she do it? Like, how do you be a mom and have a new baby and still, like, with those new baby emotions that are going on, and then all of this stuff is coming at you? So off you. You're better than me. Yeah. You are way better than me.
In some ways, it's like, it is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Like, trying to juggle all the different things and scheduling like the breastfeeding stops in between the press conferences and this and that. But at the same time, there is no more like deeper instinctual reminder of how important it is to try to fix things and help than when you're thinking about all that's needed to keep a little baby alive and happy and fed and thriving in the world.
And how are the boys doing?
Yeah.
They've been a little bit low key.
They're too busy. They're too cool for school. First of all, for me. All they care about is like the basketball courts will have hoops installed properly. That's like all that's interesting about my job for them. And then the rest is meetings. So they have their own activities.
Good.
They love being big brothers, especially my little guy who's like, he tells me it's way better being a big brother than a little brother.
Oh,
how sweet
I
is
can
that?
imagine that. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, very nice.
So sticking right there with the youth, yours are a little bit too young to work, but youth summer jobs. Let's get an update with that and how that's going, because we have very specific topics that the people have been pining for the last couple of weeks waiting. So youth jobs. How are we doing with that?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the whole team, and I'm so grateful for all the hard work across the city, because I remember when I was on the city council, every year it was an issue, and we would be stuck, and we would fight so hard for funding to add to more youth jobs, and we'd fund 5,000 youth jobs. One year, the most we hit was 6,000 youth jobs that we got funded in the budget. Yeah. And then I would hear later that, in fact, only like 3,500 or 5,000 students ended up getting those jobs, that a lot of them were open. Yeah. And so when I came into this role, we asked young people, we talked to families, and it turns out the process was really hard. You had to go turn in these forms, you had to put all this paperwork together, and then the jobs weren't the ones that they actually wanted anyway. So we streamlined everything, made it easier, got a whole bunch more jobs partnering with companies across the city. And last summer we were at 10,000 young people participating, the most we've ever had. Wow. This summer we're going to break that record.
Oh, good.
Really?
Because I'm always wondering, I remember back in our day, there was like the red shirts and stuff like that. And we don't necessarily see them anymore, but I always wonder, like, where are the sites? We're going to apply for a site because we have 1,400 interns now.
Shout out to Maya.
We're going to be, where are, like, what kind of jobs were they saying that they wanted?
Yeah.
They're all over. So some of them are at the biggest companies in Boston, right? Like Vertex and Liberty Mutual, State Street. Some of them are at places like the zoo or local nonprofits, community organizations. So different YMCAs or other, sometimes they're counselors for camps that the city's already doing. They're all over, and any organization can apply kind of earlier in the cycle. At this point, they're starting in their jobs now. And we also expanded not only the ones where you just go and work a job, but also what we call fifth quarter summer learning, which is when you have an academic focus, but also get paid to do that. And usually there's some other activity too, whether that's
Sure, remember we did a program like that back in the day. What was it, Bayhack or something like that, where we used to go to like school, like classes in the morning and then work in the afternoon.
Like co-ops.
Those programs are really, really cool because you're getting paid to learn, and I think that a lot of people really appreciate that. That's awesome. We also hear about like there's a lot of youth who are just kind of like not doing things out on the street and all this stuff. Famously we heard about what happened down South Bay a little while ago. How do we get youth more engaged into getting these jobs, since these jobs are available like that?
Yeah, so again, shout out to Jose Masso, our BCYF team, Pedro Cruz, who runs our youth engagement team. It's no coincidence that it's been a little while since we heard about the South Bay situation. Once we realized and got in there, I want to add Dr. Isaac Yablo to that list as well. Once we got in there, it turns out that most of those gatherings were happening in the weeks either after school had ended but before the summer program jobs started, or the other way around where summer jobs were done but school didn't start back up again. So those weeks especially, we kind of flood the zone with programming now all over the city for young people. There's also BCYF After Dark, which is our center staying open later.
So what is it?
It just means that the places that youth are already going stay open way later on the weekends. So they're already familiar. Our young people just need somewhere to hang out and have fun.
That's what they want to do. They just want a gathering space.
Thank you for paying attention to that.
The adults want that too. Can we get an adult after dark or something?
Well, we just launched late night food trucks.
Yes,
for the first time
So
ever.
let's talk about that now that we just got in there too. So late night food trucks, a new program that started where these food trucks are open till 3:00 in high traffic spaces. How has that? Well, I talked to one of my friends. Shout out to Extreme Flavor Food Truck, and I was just like, "How has it been?" He was just like, "It's been great. Like they've made good money. The people are excited that they're there." Why did you guys go in that direction?
I have had this love for food trucks for a long time. It was one of the first projects that I did when I worked for Mayor Menino back in the day, because it was actually illegal for food trucks to sell anything in Boston before.
Oh, really?
There was one exception of the Mr. Frosties in the Common. And then there were a couple other illegal underground food trucks in different places, but the official rules said that you couldn't do that. And so we, as my intern project, we helped rewrite all the codes and all that, and then launch the food truck challenge to pick the first 3. Since then, a couple of them have become full-on restaurants with lots of different locations, hundreds of jobs, and we never kind of close the gap on this late night part. So the idea is that you're out, and it's not just people having fun, which we want to make sure that we're giving space grants for amazing organizations and more liquor licenses so people can stay out, but it's also college students who are, or I guess over the summer, doing their internships, or hospital workers, first responders who are out and about. So we have 10 food trucks in 7 locations. Some of them open as late as 3 a.m. Just to kind of see how it goes. And so far, so good.
Yeah, it sounds great. And the selection of food trucks is amazing. There's such a
it's
variety.
diverse.
I love that.
We had a straight up lottery. So anyone who wanted to, who already had a food truck, could sign up. And we actually heard from the food truck operators that it was actually a really different draw, because some of them said, I work during the day, or I take care of my kids during the day, so I can't run my business then, but this allows me to add more income and grow my business so I can think about doing it full time one day in the future. And that's what we hope. We always want to be building the pipeline.
I think that's a great initiative.
So we had somebody said they saw you at the Caribbean flag raising in Harambe Park 2 weeks ago, but they were too afraid to say hi. But now they're excited that you guys are on the show so that you feel closer to them. So just interjecting those a little bit as we go in. Speaking of the heat, summer jobs, late night, one of the biggest things that's been happening around Boston is the closing or the non-opening of pools, especially in the Black and brown communities. It's been, we got an update from Liz Miranda a while ago that they're ordering different parts and stuff for it. But what is going on, the general consensus around there? Are more pools going to be open throughout the summer, or,
Yeah, so I want to get the facts out there, because this is one of these issues in government where it's It can go a long time, and no one's talking about it, and then all of a sudden
everybody's
it pops.
talking about it. Yeah.
But it's important to kind of just have a little bit of the background. So there are about 20 pools that the city owns, indoor, a mix of mostly indoor, but some outdoor also. Some of them are in community centers that are with a school, and therefore are owned by a school, and then some of them are just a BCYF pool. When I got into office, even the ones that were open were many of them on the verge of or
Closing.
shouldn't have been open, right? The watercolor's a little funky. You're not quite sure if the filter's working properly. And so we did a full deep dive because there had been reports over many years that it was time to do the maintenance.
Yeah.
Maintenance hadn't been done. Can got kicked down the road. And then all of a sudden we were at like a lot of problems with the pools. And many of these, once you realize that there's what seems like a small issue, you get into it, and then there's a leak, and it's unsafe, and then you have to redo the whole thing. So we have been fixing up shout out to Chief of Operations Dion Irish and his team, fixing up more pools than ever before. 2 more pools open just today.
Oh, nice.
So by the end of the year, because there's a couple more opening in a couple weeks later in the summer as things get finished up, mostly because the ones that are connected with schools, you can't do the construction and renovations while school is in session because the students are all there. So it's a little tricky how we're rotating the schedules, but by the end of the year, we are going to have more pools open than at any other point over the last decade. And so we've actually been making really steady progress on this. It's a big challenge, but we know how important it is with the weather. And also, I will just point out that pools it's not just enough having the pools. There's a lot of kids who don't know how to swim, for example. A lot of families don't know how to swim. So we've had more free swim lessons. That's been a key initiative of ours than any time ever
Boys
before.
and Girls Club that are offering?
We partner with a lot of community organizations. They get funding from the city for our Swim Safe program. Boys and Girls Club, YMCA in different spaces.
Matterhorn has their pool open as well.
And I think it's only for children. Are there adult swimming programs too? Because I realize that a lot of adults do not know how to swim either. And then, however, this summer though, we haven't had a lot of cases of drowning so far.
We haven't heard about it, but also there's a lot of, a lot of the waters around us aren't open, aren't able to be swimming right now.
Well, I mean, that was a key. Swimming is also a really big life safety issue, especially in communities of color. And it turns out when you look at the research, the number one factor for if a child doesn't know how to swim, it's usually because their parents never had swim lessons. So we try to offer it for the whole family and been doing that multi-generationally. And then, as you mentioned, there are 80 splash pads around the city. So we've cut the ribbon on 12 new ones over the last 3 years. And whether it's an outdoor pool, an indoor pool, a play feature in a park or a playground, we want you to be able to have fun over the summer and stay cool.
Another question came in. What's the plan to not have these delays in the future? Pools need regular maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the big things that I've been tackling under our administration is the very kind of, boring, like no one pays attention, fixing up the buildings. So many city buildings go and go and go, and because there's always some emergency that needs the money or some new initiative to fund, it's that routine maintenance that gets forgotten, and then they end up breaking, and then you have to start all over again. So we have done a full look at every city building that we have, including our schools, which has been a huge part of how we're getting a schools reconstruction and renovation plan. But for the pools, it's basically been top to bottom, looking at them all. All of them except for 2 of them will be done in the next couple weeks or so, or definitely by the end of the year. Those 2, it is, hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. I think it's the Blackstone and is it the Leahy
The
Holleran?
Mason pool is open, because I think somebody reported on that
I have
one
that.
the other day. That's down the street.
Okay, so I'm going to tick through this list currently. We have the Curtis Pool, Draper, we just reopened. The Flaherty Pool, Leahy Holleran. The Mason is open. The Marshall, we reopened. Mattahunt, we redid. Paris Street, we totally redid. The Quincy, Umana, Curly Beach is open. None of those little birds running all over. The Clardy Pool we redid. The South End Fitness Center pool is open. Today we just opened the Mirabella Pool, which is an outdoor one, and the Condon. Later in a couple weeks, the Mildred and the Hennigan. This fall, the Charlestown indoor pool, which we could maintain now that we opened the outdoor pool there. The Perkins, and the Madison Park pool.
Oh, good.
The only two left will be the Blackstone and the Holland, both of which are kind of larger, more complicated projects in bigger buildings.
The Holland pool is pretty big.
Yeah,
I think
Mike
there was a
Nice actually
picture.
just asked about that.
Yeah.
Another question too: are the splash pads going to extend hours later than 6 p.m.? Somebody asked. So
that's interesting. What does that mean? Because it's not like
we went because we were at
JP. Push the button,
we were
Bill.
we were in JP during the heat wave last week, and I'm not sure what time was that they went.
That was like.
No, we were in there. We were in there, and then all of a sudden, like you couldn't press the button, and the water.
It was
went
like
down.
7:45 that they cut it off, and then
Yeah.
someone else said, "Oh, that pool closed at 7," but we ended up going at 7. It was still on, so we were like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
And then it shut down at 7:45, and it was still about 89 degrees.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna check into that. I didn't know that.
Oh, good.
My
Thank
splash
you.
pad is on at all hours. Them children be out there splashing. Now to some of the more pressing issues that the city has. And then we'll touch on the liquor licenses soon, because I know that those have expanded a little bit. That's a really good program. We know that one too. White Stadium. Bless your heart. White Stadium seems to be a tough one. It is a tough one that people are either completely for or completely against. It's like 29 degrees or 102 degrees. People don't really know where they want to stand. I have heard you speak about it, and I think at one of your first campaign launches, you were very, very adamant and very confident in that. Are you still there?
Yeah, and I think there's like sometimes different camps in terms of people who are opposed to it.
Yeah.
There are some people who truly just don't want it to be like active there because they think parks should be quiet, and honestly they prefer a rundown stadium because no one goes there and no one disturbs the kind of peace and quiet. But it's not like there's no stadium there. I have met people who ran at the track there or played a game there like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and said it was gross back then in the locker rooms. And so the reason why I'm so adamant is it just like brings out the mama bear in me. Like our kids deserve it. Our Boston kids deserve to have places where they can run and grow and play and be themselves, that they don't have to feel like, why does the city not value me because the plumbing doesn't work and it feels so disgusting in the locker room and the track is all broken, the field is lumpy. Our city kids deserve everything and anything that our kids in the suburbs have. And so that's what it is. But this deal also, I think there's another camp of people who genuinely might not have all the facts about what the situation is. I hear a couple things a lot, like, why are we privatizing it? First of all, we're not, right?
So that's the biggest question. Like, it shouldn't be held by a private entity.
It's not,
It should
and
be
that's
for
the
this-
thing. That's a whole, there's like 300 plus pages of legal documents that we signed with the team. They're only going to use it less than 10% of the time, and they pay for more than half the construction, all the maintenance and operations. They're keeping it open 7 days a week instead of just 8 to 4 Monday to Friday. And they're paying $400,000 of lease rent money to the city every year, going up with inflation. $500,000 a year to Franklin Park directly, going up with inflation. $1 per ticket for every soccer game, going to a tree bank so we can plant more trees in the area. A supplier diversity advisory council so that every contract, from the concessions to the design to the maintenance, is going to be available and accessible for local businesses, MWBEs. We've had the parking contract already got settled, or in the shuttle contracts, for example, to a local business. We get a percentage of the concessions, of all the different revenue streams, and we own the stadium. Top scheduling priority goes to local community events like BAMS Fest, etc., then to BPS games and the soccer games, then to community events. And that's all that's locked in.
Why is there such a big confusion around that? Because like, I know the other part of this is the cost of things, and people are saying, well, we do want beautification of the stadium. Why does it need to cost $99 million? You know, like, why can't we do it for $50 million and get
So let me tell you this,
steak
like,
and not a steak and cheese?
I wish.
I was going to say that.
Some of the numbers that people are throwing out is like not even the like cold concession stand, bathrooms that will be open to the public all throughout the year. So it's an investment in the community that I believe has been promised and neglected for, at this point, decades and decades.
Yeah,
And
it's been like
we have a partner to get it done.
You know, probably people are so against it because they don't know all the facts, like how you just said. I didn't know all of that, and I was feeling a little way about it. So now, with hearing what you're saying, it seems like we're getting a pretty good deal. It seems
I think
like,
for
right?
most of the people that live around that neighborhood, I think it may be not. I don't think people really even think about numbers. They hear numbers and whatever. I think that more the major issue around there would be the traffic, and
definitely.
just congestion, because we'll get into that a little bit later, but the bike lanes and the bus lanes and Eggleston already has that going on that they're not too happy about. So how do we get around this, and how do we not inconvenient as many people as possible, which will be on those big games on Saturdays?
So two things. One, I think the last camp of people is people who have heard the facts, might be supportive of this idea, but don't believe that these promises will be kept, right? Because there's been plenty of examples in the past, Carter Playground or other places where it was like, oh, we're doing an investment, and then it turns out now you can't use it anymore, right? And so that's why we locked everything down in a lease. It is legal language. It's up on the website. It's for everyone to see, and it's down to every detail of when the games have to start and end so that we can use the field and the park for the rest of the time, and everyone can enjoy all the new renovation and the new spaces. When it comes to traffic, so I just want to point out, it's not like we never have tens of thousands of people come to Franklin Park. Bam's Fest, right?
Was just the other
Puerto
day.
Rican Festival. A lot of the annual events bring tons of people every year, and there's no transportation plan. So we're actually putting in place for the first time a way that there would be shuttles and other pickup and drop off that's much more organized. It won't be through and parking at the park, because we're not going to lose any green space there. It's parkland.
See, I thought that's what they were gonna have at one point, like, a little parking spaces. That's just for me.
No, there's going to be a pickup drop off. There's going to be connection points to public transit nearby, and it's going to be a lot of walking and activating the park overall.
I never say that I'm not for White Stadium, because I am one of those people that want to see things beautiful. And I just think that White Stadium has been such an eyesore for so long. It was just like a random thing in the back there that you can go to. And I'm like, I used to do Pop Warner cheerleading when I was like 6, and I'm like, it's the same thing. We could have used the bathrooms then, and now we still I wouldn't go in that bathroom if I want to, and the water is hot. Those little things over there.
The water fountains.
Blue Hill Avenue is the other. I'm not sure I can be convinced. Is another one of those big conflicting issues that have divided. I don't know if it's a really big divide of the city, but has really been a sore thumb here. What are we doing with that?
So the short answer is there's nothing set or done or decided about what we're doing.
Okay, because that's what this has already been decided. They already did it before they even talked to us. So
but to go back a couple steps, the only reason why it came about, also because I've heard all people say, oh, it's because you want to put bike lanes everywhere, you want a bike lane on Blue Hill. There's no need, even with the new plans, there's no need to have a bike lane on Blue Hill Ave if the community doesn't want it. And we presented versions that don't have a bike lane. The original reason why anything was suggested at all is because a while back, and some of the seniors in the community remember this, there used to be a trolley car there. There used to be a way where people from the neighborhood could get downtown quickly, or get to, at that point,
Russell Holmes tells us about that all
Nubian,
the time.
Nubian, or back in the day, Dudley Square, right? And then it was ripped away because more people from the suburbs wanted to bypass these communities faster to get to their jobs instead. So in some ways, this is about restoring and repairing the access that used to be there, the priority that local community members had to be able to get where they needed to go faster, instead of prioritizing people who were driving in from the outside. But I think what we've heard is that there's a lot of short-term stuff that residents want to see now first, right?
Beautification,
repaving,
trees,
ticketing if there's double or triple parking to make sure that people can drive through. So we're going to focus on that while we continue to hear from residents on what they want. And there's nothing that's a done deal. There have been certain grants. For example, Congresswoman Presley got us the first federal grant to kick all of this off, which is connected to the idea of having transit priority. But who knows what's happening with federal funding right now anyway. So we're in the process of just like really listening to community and being clear about what people want to see. There's nothing that's being rushed through, no deadline, no like it's going to get going by this date or anything.
More comments. The people driving in from outside are historical Boston residents who's been priced out of the city but still work here. So that comes with a two-pronged question, I guess. You know, residential housing, job security, gentrification, these types of things. How do we combat that? Because Boston people are very proud. They want to stay where they are, but we overwhelmingly hear, I can't afford it. It's just too expensive. I think Boston is now ranked above New York in average price of renting. I think that just came out the other day. How do we keep people here? Because we're also hearing that a lot of people are moving out.
Yeah. So first of all, whatever we can do to try to make sure that residents have a little bit more breathing room in terms of being able to live, afford, and stay in the city, we've been trying to do. That's why we've made the bus lines free so that there's a guarantee.
Let me stop you there. Great idea. Great idea. It's one of the selling points when I tell people about here, when we have interns. It's free on Blue Hill Lab. And it matters. It actually matters. So kudos to the team.
Yeah, it adds up. And it's just like, it's not just, okay, the bus fare that you're saving from one particular ride, you know, how much can you buy instead with that? It's almost like a sense of how much the city values you, that you can have the freedom to do whatever you need to do in your life without having to ration out your trips on public transit. Anyway, I'm not going to go all the way down that rabbit hole. But also, we've expanded free childcare and early education seats more than ever before. We have built more affordable homes in the last 3 years than any 3-year period in a generation. Free museums for any kids growing up in Boston, performances, just block party grants. We're trying to do space grants. We're trying to do everything we can just to make it possible for people to put down roots here, not just on housing, but all the parts of your life that you need. But, you know, it's definitely true that there's been a cost over the last several decades and people are getting pushed out of the city and we're part of a larger region. So I think just doubling down, putting affordability first. That's why, you know, there's been a lot of talk about housing in this campaign so far. And my fellow candidate, his one idea basically is somehow that we can make Boston more affordable by undoing affordability requirements, right? It's a developer-focused platform. The idea, so what they say is that, and this comes from the real estate developers, what they say is that if you make it too expensive to build, then you don't build anything and then you don't get any affordable housing, which I agree with in theory. But what that ends up meaning in reality is that you basically bail out any of the real estate folks when the interest rates are high and it's harder for them economically, even though they've taken risks in their business and sometimes overpaying for land and taking risks that things would go their way with the markets and whatever. It's not the job of the government, of city taxpayers, to bail out developers and ensure that they have a profit in any season. We have to focus on affordability, and you will never convince me that undoing and rolling back affordability is how to get more affordable housing.
I just don't even understand in theory how that makes sense. I can't even theorize it. The one I was listening to a conversation with a senator or in one of these confirmation hearings, and he was like, the best way to combat residential housing is to build more. And it feels like Boston is building. It wasn't from Boston. It feels like Boston is building more, and it almost feels like, where else are we gonna put more housing? And then what quality of life is that if we do keep putting housing into every little spot? Because I want a house where I can actually, you know, have a small distance between me and my neighbor, not like look in each other's kitchen windows as we're cooking, you know, food.
I mean, we definitely need more housing, and that's why our administration has been doing a lot to put funding and fix zoning and things like that to make it clearer and easier and faster. But you have to be specific about the kind of housing you need too. Multi-bedroom units so that families can live. Affordable housing, senior housing, not just kind of build whatever luxury housing you can build anywhere you can build it. We've also been working to be very clear about where the housing happens. So in a lot of places, the Main Streets district, it makes sense to add housing on top because small businesses need that. There's already housing and density there. We're trying to move through a downtown plan because we need more housing in the places where it makes sense to have taller buildings and more housing so that doesn't squeeze everything into the neighborhoods. And we need neighborhood housing too in the places where it can fit. So we have our Welcome Home Boston program, which identified 150 vacant lots that were owned by the city that are going to turn into smaller multifamily developments, but they're being developed by all MWBE developers who are from the community.
We've been meeting so many of them.
Any plans for tiny homes?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting
so
idea.
Cute, yeah.
And I think there have been certain proposals where it's, even downtown where we have our incentive program for taking office buildings that aren't as used and turning them into residential. We recently expanded to allow for workforce housing and kind of university like dormitory style housing so that even buildings where you can't install a bathroom, it's too expensive to put the plumbing in every single space, having
Common
more of like
spaces.
a door, like more common spaces.
I mean, that does make sense. And even onto that, sorry. Do they all have to be built in Boston? Can they not be built in like Dedham?
We can't do it ourselves. Yeah, that's definitely true. So I'm part of the Metro Mayors group, and there's no amount of housing that Boston can build that would fix the housing crisis because there are so many towns around us that also need to be adding housing where they are too. And so we have kind of been encouraging each other and setting goals around all the other communities also coming in on housing. But that's why it's not as simple. Some people, particularly developers, will say, oh, it's just supply and demand. And that's true to some extent. But because we're not a closed market, because people can live all places outside the city, work in the city, vice versa, we're really affected by what happens across the entire state and across the region.
Okay. I hate to throw a whatever it's called,
Segue.
but we're hearing that you have to go in a few minutes. We just wanted to ask you, like, how are you doing? How is everything going with this race? How are you feeling? We've seen you get a little spicy, and so we like that.
I like it.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, all right, Michelle, go girl. So how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling I don't know. I feel like you're not really in an election taking it seriously unless you're really scared at some level anyway. I mean, the feedback has been really good across the community. I'm in 10, 12 events a day, and people seem to generally appreciate and know.
And you're getting a lot of national attention too.
We call you our celebrity mayor.
I know, media
I think
darling.
all of that is just because no one can say that Boston hasn't been doing a good job taking care of people. There's certainly challenges, don't get me wrong, and there's certainly things that I'm still really frustrated that we haven't done more and done it faster on. But by and large, we've made really good progress. Sometimes progress unlike we've ever seen before on a lot of key issues in just a short time. So, there's a ton of negative attack ads. We've never seen this many millions of dollars coming in from Trump backers, from out-of-state billionaires. And it works, right? We've seen the reason why we are where we are at the national level is because a billionaire decided to fund a campaign for president, and it worked. I hope and I believe that Boston voters are smart. They care, they're connected, and they're not going to fall for just kind of the same attacks on our city and our progress over and over again. But it is a little bit of a test this year because we haven't seen anything like this before in Boston politics.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, hats off to you. You're doing a great job. You look good. And so, you're doing your thing, and we, the Boston residents, are proud of you and what you've done for us, and we hope that you continue to do well with everything that you've got going on.
I so appreciate all of you.
Do you have any last minute words to the people? We missed a couple of Mass and Cast, but we can get back to that because Mass and Cast is an ongoing project that needs some talking about. Yes. Because that's been going on for a while. But any last minute words to our nice constituents out here? They have showed up for you in all areas of this stream.
I will just say I love our community. I will fight for Boston because the city has given me everything that's important to me in my life, and I know what's possible here. I see it every day out in our community. I'm really proud of what we've done. It's no coincidence that we have, although again, much more work to do, but we've become the safest major city at the same time that we've had skyrocketing youth jobs and housing and childcare and parks and investments in the community and jobs. And we're not done yet. So I just make sure everyone mark your calendar. September 9th is the preliminary election. Don't just wait until November. The prelim matters too. So make sure you have a plan. It's kind of the week after Labor Day, so it comes up fast. But if you're not going to be here, or if you want to vote by mail, make sure to request that mail ballot. And I love your support. I'm asking for your vote. Take a sign, show your love, get engaged, because no matter what happens, we need people to be involved in this city so that we can keep moving forward.
I was like, man, well, I'm supposed to get engaged. I can't even find me a boyfriend. That kind of engaged, sorry. But thank you so much. I know that you have to run. We really appreciate you. Our interns are so excited. And so am I.
And my son was like, man, Wu's going to be there. I love her.
He hasn't come into this radio station all week, but today he shows up like, look at my shirt. Okay. But thank you so much for your time and for, always touching base with Spark FM and our community. Everybody wants to know where they can sign up and how they can support you. Go to her website. What's your website?
MichelleForBoston.com.
MichelleForBoston.com. Go look at her policies and everything that's going on. And don't forget, September 9th, we're outside voting, because super voting is what we do here.
Absolutely.
We're trying to turn all of our listeners into super voters.
Like us.
Yes. With that said, we are going to actually end the show today because we're at that hour. Thank you, Mayor Michelle Wu, for coming in. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. This is Saucy and Friends. Bye.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz. You're listening to Spark FM Online.
You are now listening to Spark FM.
Eunice Production, Friends Lifestyle Group presents